Great. So we're live again, and with Steve Grimes, who looks exactly the same as he did 5 minutes ago for us. Yeah.
I've aged so much in the last 4 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Okay, this is a freehand model, Alcoa, sides and back, with the asymmetrical shape
yeah,
and solid peg head.
looks great. Sounds great too.
Thank you. This is a redwood top, plain redwood with wood from Brazil called kingwood, which is very, very close to Brazilian rosewood. As a matter of fact, it looks almost identical to Brazilian rosewood. It's probably a little bit more dense than Brazilian. A little bit more of a brighter sound than the Koa. And this one also has a 19-inch scale and a side port.
Right. And
So,
what do you think the side port? How do you think the side port contributes to to the playing experience, at least?
For playing by yourself, I think it enhances the tone to the player. And for projecting, I think it's not as good at doing that as a standard non-side ported ukulele, because I think that with the tension of the strings, it can just, with so much energy available, and you're bleeding off some of that sound generated by the ukulele off the side. If you're trying to project to a microphone or to an audience, it's not as much in my estimation.
Right.
But they both are good. I have a long-standing kind of a funny disagreement with some other ukulele makers as far as the side port being a beneficial thing or not so much. But it's not so cut and dried as that. I think that for certain people and for certain applications, the side port is very, very useful. And so I think they're both good. Both designs are very good.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you have any guitars that you'd like to share with us?
Well, let me see. I could show you that small-bodied archtop that's up here. Okay. This one I built for myself. I built it just before my one grand party. I had a party last February celebrating my 1,000th instrument. And so I made a whole bunch of instruments. My helper and I, my partner, we just really worked hard for the year prior to February 2020 to get a good show together. And we had 42 instruments on display and at the party, which was great because I had 400 people come to this party, a lot of them from out of state and out of country. Luckily, no one. It was just before COVID really got serious. So I was very lucky. The timing of the party was lucky. And it was very fortunate for me and my guests that no one contracted the dreaded virus. So I built this for that party. And I had it on display and I just decided to keep it. So it is a small-bodied archtop but
Mhm.
it has a koa back, carved koa back
Mhm.
and sides, and a German spruce top with a light sunburst on it. It has a 25.5-inch scale, and it has the pickup inset into the top rather than floating
Right.
like most
Mhm.
most arch tops. And what I'm working on, I haven't got it hooked up yet. This is a pickup called Go Acoustic, made by the company Go Acoustic, and it's a fantastic. I have them on my flat top guitars. Each string has its own pickup, and there's a preamp inside here that if you do have an imbalance between one of the 6 strings, like your D string is louder than it needs to be, you can actually loosen this, bring it up to where you can work on it, and with a little screwdriver, you can turn down the volume pot for just the D string.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So this is a steel string Beamer model. I call it the Beamer model. I named it after master slack key guitar player and composer Cale Beamer. I saw these for the first time when he brought a guitar to my shop in 1987, and I got to look inside and see how it was built, and I told him I would like the opportunity to build one that he could compare. I wasn't trying to sell it to him. I just wanted him to give his opinion on a lighter design, because I build guitars to be very light, because I need that immediate jump of sound, that attack. And luckily with this design, with the double hole, you get the sustain as well. So it's really a nicely balanced guitar. I did not invent the double hole design, even though a lot of people attribute it to me, but the design goes back to classical guitars made by, I think his name was Francisco Simplicio, back in the 20s and 30s, built nylon string guitars with the 2 sound holes. Anyway, Keola liked my design, my sound, and he bought one, and he has, I think, 3 or 4 of them now. But so I named it after him because he was the inspiration for it. But the design, I think the theory behind how it works so well is that you have more real estate in this area here. Instead of having a sound hole here, a sound hole here requires heavy bracing around it. And so when you remove that sound hole and split the difference on either side of the sound, either side of the fingerboard, you're able to use more real estate for getting a richer bass response. So when you tune this thing down to C in the bass, it actually doesn't shy away from it. It actually has the speaker to replicate that sound. So I have this in C Wahine tuning. Once again, I'm not a slack key player, but I do like to dabble in the low tunings, and this guitar, this style of guitar does the low notes really, really well for a small-bodied instrument.
Right. And that's spruce top and koa, right?
This is Sitka spruce top with koa sides and back.
Oh,
and,
that's really nice koa.
Honduras mahogany neck with a koa bridge. I'm sorry, ebony bridge, ebony fingerboard, and an ebony faceplate. The basic model.
The basic.
So I started doing a cutaway version of this guitar back in the early 90s. I call it the Kaulua model. Kaulua means double in Hawaiian. And so I have the Beamer model and the Kailua model for the double sound hole flat top guitars.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's fabulous. Well, thank you very much for your time.